Searching for garnets on Garnet Mountain. The names of two mountain peaks in Mojave County, Arizona, Iron and Garnet, have always piqued our curiosity. What caused the early settlers to give the mountains those names? Louie and Paula here today, and we're on the hunt for garnets. Traveling north from Kingman on Stockton Hill Road, we turned right on Pierce Ferry Road to Diamond Bar before hitting the dirt. We stopped at Grand Canyon Western Ranch headquarters to ask directions. There we met Casey, who entertains at the ranch. He writes and sings all his songs. He also gave us detailed info on the roads and some great history of the area. The Grand Canyon Western Ranch is a worthwhile stop for anyone looking for a Western experience, and it's a short distance from the Grand Canyon Skywalk. They have cabins for rent, a restaurant, and a real working cowboy atmosphere. Started up the mountain on the Iron Spring Canyon dirt road. We were crossing private land, but the owner has an agreement with the Arizona Game and Fish allowing sportsmen to traverse the land. Be respectful so that access remains open. The road starts off easy and passable by most vehicles to the end of private land where there is a gate. Be sure to close the gate after passing through, as per instructions on the sign. This was springtime in the desert, and many cacti and other vegetation are in bloom, such as the Joshua tree. Joshua tree blossoms don't all produce seeds. They need the help of the yucca moth, a fascinating example of mutualism and coevolution. The road narrows, and we encountered deep ruts where water had washed away the middle of the road. Be prepared to straddle, weave, and at times tilt precariously to one side or the other. There's also close brush that will put pinstripes on your vehicle. Rounded boulders of Precambrian granite outcrop in the lower parts of the canyon, while the ridges are capped by Paleozoic sedimentary rocks. This is John Wayne country, and we're not far away from the Grand Canyon. Some of the granite we see here is a distinctive reddish color. Not sure if it's from feldspar flooding or iron staining. As we drove through Iron Spring Basin, we looked for remnants of a wooden pipeline. The pipe was made of wood slats held together by thick wire. The pipeline ran from Iron Spring to the King Tut placer mine near present-day Meadview. And brush keep the road interesting. Be careful of the rocks in the middle of the road if they don't hit your oil pan. When we reached the edge of the world, or at least the edge of Garnet Mountain, the area opens up and the views are spectacular. From our vantage point, we could look down on the Wallapai Valley with dust devils playing on the flat bottom of Red Lake. Now, some of you might question why this is called Red Lake. I guess you'll just have to be there right after a summer monsoon rainstorm when the lake fills to a depth of at least 1 inch. Wallapai Basin doesn't have surface drainage to the Colorado River. It's a closed basin where rain gathers in the flat bottom to evaporate in the hot sun. The word red in the name comes from the vegetation that grows after a storm and turns red when it dries. The trail continued along the edge of the mountain through an almost tunnel of thick vegetation. Someone needs to trim the bushes. There's not much of a road left, but then it's the type we like. Gets the adrenaline flowing. Oops, a big rock. Don't want to get high-centered. Better pick another line of attack. Back up and get a better view of the rock. We figured there must have been a small camp here while the men worked the shaft, as evidenced by the pieces of rusted tin. What a view! In the distance, a dust devil is playing on Red Lake. It was a little too tight to turn around at the shaft, so we parked and walked the last few yards to the working. The wind was fierce up here, but there were beautiful flowers. At the end of the road, we found a small dump. By the size of the dump, we figured that the values weren't sufficient to continue work on the prospect, so it was abandoned. This is the source of the Garnets. A lens-shaped body of garnet epidote quartz skarn is exposed in a caved-in mine shaft. Skarn is a rock that has been changed by hydrothermal fluids. This skarn had been prospected for tungsten. The lens is about 150 feet long and is a roof pendant completely enclosed by the granite. The garnets are of the almandine variety, a dark brown to purplish red color in a massive quartz epidote matrix. The original rock, probably a lens of sedimentary rock, had been engulfed by the molten granite that cooked the lens until it was changed to garnet, epidote, and quartz. Having satisfied our curiosity about the origin of Garnet Mountain garnets, we headed back to pavement over the same road. The origin of the Iron Mountain name will have to wait until next time. Thank you for joining us on this quest to find garnets, and hope you'll join us on another trail.